Alright, game devs, let's talk about a hot topic here. AI and game development. AI generated art isn't very appreciated by most. We like genuinely made stuff by humans with imagination, creativity, experience. But is there a good way to use AI to create a game? I gave it a shot when participating in a game jam. It wasn't my intention to use ChatGPT when I joined the PS1 Jam, but here's why I ended up using it and how it went. If you look at the comments about the game I submitted to the game jam, you wouldn't know I used AI, and you will be thinking everything went well, until you look at this comment. It's an interesting concept. Playing as a tumbleweed to stop Dynamite from blowing up horses. Fun, short, yet challenging. There are, however, a couple of issues I found. First is that sometimes it blows up after I interact with it, mostly for long ones. Second is that the dynamite ended up on top of the horse, making it impossible to reach it, and I end up losing a horse as a result. Still fun, though my amusement fell short when I saw ChatGPT in your description. Yep, he's right. I used ChatGPT for all the coding of the game, and it was a huge mistake. So here's what happened to my game jam submission. I started 7 days late and only had 3 days to work on the game instead of 10. Classic. That's how life goes. You want to commit to something, but it's never the priority. My plan was to give PSX graphics a try, and it was very fun to do. But after making most of the models for my scene, I thought I didn't have enough time to create the scripts before the game jam finishes. This is when I remembered doing a Unity Learn lesson from the official Unity website. The lesson was to give AI a try and make a C# script with your favorite AI assistant. I used ChatGPT to make a day and night cycle for the directional light of my scene, and it worked pretty good. So even though the game jam was mentioning no AI generated content, I felt like I had no choice but to use it if I wanted to submit my project in time. Code is not content anyways, right? I'll just give it a shot, and if it gets me disqualified, so be it. I'm not a huge fan of AI generated art, but when it comes to using AI as a tool, I think it can be very convenient. Using ChatGPT feels kind of taboo right now. People will try to hide that they used it to create something as if it was shameful. I think AI can help us understand stuff quicker and be more productive. It's kind of when power tools first started. Why would you use an old rusty screwdriver if you can use an electric one and build something with way less effort? It's the same with AI. Why learn how to code if you can get ChatGPT to do it for you? Well, let me show you why you should know how to code, but still use AI as a tool to help you. When the Unity Learn lesson was asking for a C# script made by AI, it was a very basic function that wouldn't interact with anything else in the game beside the game object it's attached to. So I did the same for my game at first, like creating scripts for controls and camera movement. It was quick and everything was working fine with very few adjustments. I didn't know what I was getting myself into yet. But once I got into some more complicated stuff, things got ugly pretty fast. When you create a function, usually there are a lot of different ways to make one. Everybody has their favorite methods of doing something, but when you get AI to create your script, you still have to read through it and understand it. Yeah, it's going to write comments for every single line possible, but it will also use obsolete function and make stuff not work with each other. At first, I didn't bother reading the codes, and I attached them right away to the game objects, since the first few scripts were so basic and implemented well in the game. I simply kept on making more scripts, which were getting a bit more complicated every time. In your game, a lot of stuff will have to communicate between each other, and this will mostly be done with the scripts that you create. The AI assistant you use doesn't know your game like you do. It doesn't know which game object will interact with another game object, so if you start using ChatGPT for that kind of stuff, it will get messy. I wanted to make the horses in the game disappear when the dynamite sticks were exploding, which shouldn't be too hard to do. But ChatGPT proved me wrong. I probably spent 1 hour prompting different instructions to make it work and debugging it, when I could have done it by myself in the first place and spent probably half that time or even less. I felt exhausted after this. It was like asking a toddler to do a simple task that will never get done the right way. I also created a script with ChatGPT to restart the game when all the horses are gone. This also didn't work as planned, and I ended up debugging it myself to make sure it works before the time limit, since this was a game-breaking bug. Usually when I submit a game, I have a feeling of accomplishment. I feel proud of my work. But this time, I felt kind of dirty. I added a disclosure to the game description saying I used AI for the scripts to set the record straight. In retrospect, ChatGPT was useful for basic scripts and asking for instructions on how to do something, like the sparking effects for the dynamite. I'm still new to particle effects and haven't used it much, so this helped me create something fast. The more you practice something, the more you'll be comfortable with, and usually you also get better at it. So the moral of the story is, don't ask AI to do stuff for you. Ask AI how to do stuff, and then do it by yourself. until you don't need AI anymore for this specific task. Use it as a teaching tool, not as a dev replacement. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you at the next game jam. See ya!